Hello friends, is Botain next episode. In this episode, we'll be discussing a new chapter. Comparatively simple chapter, easy chapter, but theory point of view, entrance point of view, questions will be there. So for convenience, I will share the screen so it will be easy for you. I think screen came. So we can proceed. This is Unit 1, Diversity in the Living World from NCERT, under which 4 chapters will be available. Chapter 1, Living World, Chapter 2, Bioclassification, Chapter 3, Plant Kingdom, and Chapter 4, Animal Kingdom. First 3 chapters under this unit will be doing. So we can proceed. Why I shown this page? This is NCERT. Normally, people will not read this page. Then, introduction. After that, end of chapter, there will be a summary. Then there will be questions. Normally, students will just leave it. But for theory exam questions and entrance point of view, questions will be selected from all this area. So as an introduction, we can proceed with this page. All statement not needed. Certain statements I marked with red. They are a little bit important. So what is biology? Biology is the science of life forms and living process. And we can find the living world comprises amazingly diversity in living organism, diversity, variation. And we can easily distinguish inanimate matter and living organism. Inanimate matter mainly include wind, sea, fire, all this. While living part comprises animals and plants. I think that idea is clear. And in this modern world, you can find it is man-centered events. So humans dominate this world. So human dominated. So there is a branch in science that deals with the study of human beings. That is called anthropology. So here you can find a statement. Societies which indulged in anthropocentric view of biology could register limited progress in biological knowledge. That means biological world, living world means not only human beings. Human beings just one species or one genus with a single species, monotypic species. Remaining millions of organisms will be there. That is why the term anthropocentric, anthropogeny means or study of human being is called anthropology. I think idea is clear. So to explain these few lines, I put that page from NCERT and kept it there with the lines marked red. Again, continuing with the NCERT, this is a famous scientist, Ernst Mayr. Again, you can find lines on it, red line. They all came from theory or NEET exam previously. 1904, he was born in Germany. Then he is often called Darwin of the 20th century. One of the 100 greatest scientists if we take, he will be present, one of it. That is 100 greatest scientists in all time if you take, he will be one. One means he will be a member of this 100 greatest scientists of all time. Then he got a title, Alexander Agassiz Professor of Zoology Emeritus. And his work connected with 80 years of research. And his research spanned in ornithology, taxonomy, zoogeography, evolution, systematics, etc. And moreover, the history and philosophy of biology. And his single-handed manner dealt with the term origin of species. So origin of species. He given a definition also Ernst Mayr. Term species given by John Ray that we'll be learning in the next episode. But biological concept of the species was given by Ernst Mayr. That is sexually reproducing organism able to produce fertile offspring. This we can observe later when we deal with the species. And Mayr was awarded 3 prizes, great prizes of the world, Triple Crown of Biology, because he got 3 important prizes, which include Balson Prize in 1983, International Prize for Biology in 1994, Crawford Prize in 1999. And Mayr died at the age of 100 years in 2004. So that is the contribution of this greatest scientist, one of the greatest scientists among top 100 scientists of the world. I think idea clear. Now we can proceed. These are pure NCERT. Now we will be entering into our real topic, Chapter 1, Living World. So when we look on to the life or world of life, it is really wonderful. It is amazing to note the living organism with its habitat and habit. Habitat means place where an organism live. Habit means how it appears. Chapter heading is living world. So what is really life? Different or various types of definitions are there. This is one of the common accepted definition. Life is the maintenance of non-equilibrium steady state. Maintenance of non-equilibrium steady state. How this non-equilibrium is maintained? That is through metabolism. Metabolism means energy. And by this metabolism and energy, reaching an equilibrium state is avoided. When it comes to an equilibrium state, that individual is supposed to dead. So equilibrium state has to be avoided. That is through metabolism, that is through energy. I think that definition is clear. What is really a life? So when we discuss what is really life, has got two implicit questions with it. That is again NCERT. First is the technical one and seeks answer to what living as opposed to the non-living. How these two differs, living and non-living. Second is philosophical and seeks answer to purpose of life. So we are concerned with what is life only. Remember, lifespan is different from life. Life we define maintenance of non-equilibrium steady state. Lifespan is the gap between birth and death. Now comes features of life. Different features are available. We can broadly classify into two for convenience. One, defining features. Second, characteristic features. Defining features means more towards or concerned with the life. Characteristic means it may be present in living and non-living. One by one we can proceed. Defining features. That is present in all living organisms, not seen in non-living objects. Typical example for it is metabolism and consciousness. That is why it becomes defining. Characteristic features means exceptions will be there. Here we can find. Can be seen in non-living objects. Typical example is growth and reproduction. I think that difference is clear, defining and characteristic features. Now we can proceed to diversity in the living world. There are one or two data I given. World Biodiversity Day, WBD. It is May 22nd. The term biodiversity was coined by biodiversity term. So biodiversity term coined by W.G. Rosen. So World Biodiversity coined by W.G. Rosen. W.G. Rosen coined the term World Biodiversity. Term biodiversity popularized by Edward Wilson. So term biodiversity popularized by Edward Wilson. I think these two terms clear. Scientist photo I given there. So the term biodiversity, this one here I put H. World biodiversity coined by W.G. Rosen. Term biodiversity popularized by Edward Wilson. Now, what is the meaning of the term biodiversity? It is a Greek word. Bios means life. Diversity means forms. So that literally means variation in organism. Now, when we continue it, the number of species that are non-described ranges between. That is pure NCERT, previous question, 1.7 to 1.8 million. This refers to the term biodiversity, or the number and types of organisms present on the earth. NCERT, page number 34, reprint edition, March 24. I think up to that it is clear. Now we can proceed to next page. Next term, some terms concerned with biodiversity. First is nomenclature, theory NEET exam question. So nomenclature. Why that term? What is the meaning? See, there is a need to standardize the naming of living organism such that a particular organism is known by the same name all over the world. All over the world, that organism's name should be same. This process is called nomenclature. Nomen, name, calere, to call. That is how the term nomenclature came. Second term for us is identification. Nomenclature or naming is only possible when the organism is described correctly and we know to what organism the name is attached to. And this is called identification. Again, NCERT, page number 4. So NCERT statements, theory, NEET exam, fill in the blank type question. Now, so that's basics of taxonomy. Taxonomy, that word I will explain in the next class, next episode. Few more terms will be there. So the basics of taxonomy includes characterization, identification, classification, nomenclature. First, character will be located. Based on it, organism has been identified based on the characters. Then organisms will be classified and finally given the nomenclature. Next is agencies or rules, etc. connected with the nomenclature. Many rules, many agencies are involved in nomenclature procedures in the world in different fields. Some of them include, most common for our syllabus wise, ICBN, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, an area of question, ICZN, International Code for Zoological Nomenclature, ICNB, International Code of Nomenclature of Bacteria. So ICBN and ICNB, don't confuse. All the three International Code of Botany, Zoology, Nomenclature of Bacteria. ICBN, ICNB different, don't confuse. Then ICNCP, International Code for Nomenclature for Cultivated Plants. Remember, cultivated plants also comes under botanical nomenclature. But there is a separate wing, ICNCP. So cabbage can come under ICNCP, ICBN. But cabbage is cultivated plant, that's all. So difference is there, but plants can be basically coming in ICBN, but it can come under ICNCP also if it is cultivated plants. I think I made it clear. Now, ICVCN, International Code of Virus Classification and Nomenclature. Then IUBMB. That name is not in NCERT. It is linked with the biochemistry. So, International Union of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. They are concerned mainly with the enzyme nomenclature, etc. You studied in biomolecules. I think that 5-6 names clear. It is important for exam. By heart it. Now we can proceed to binomial nomenclature. Bi means two. Nomial means term or naming. Scientist. So rules concerned with the scientific name universally. Binomial nomenclature developed by Swedish naturalist, Swedish. Previous question, Carl Linnaeus, 1707 to 1778. This is photograph, Carl Linnaeus. Now, some important aspects of binomial nomenclature. Again, theory entrance question. Biological names are usually taken from Latin language. New names either coming from Latin or will be Latinized. So Latin. Single organism is given only one name with the two words. First part is called genus and the second part is called species. Scientific names usually printing is in italics or underlined separately when handwritten. So there is a purpose in it. So printing means it has to be italics. Underline means when we handwritten or handwriting, while writing, it should be underlined separately. And what is the purpose? Again, that is a question. It is to show Latin origin representation. Those symbols. Genus name must start with the capital letter, while species name must start with the small letter. Typical example, mango tree, Mangifera indica. So you can find it is italicized. Then a third name, you can find a third part, that is author's name. Author here it is Linnaeus. Lin means Linnaeus, who first described the species. So in a complete scientific name, we can find three parts: genus name, species name, author's name, who first coined that term, that name. And author's name will be usually in Roman script. And these three together called binomial epithet. Theory NEET exam question. Next, again, a predominant one, principle of priority. Suppose a question comes, what is the most or which is the most important role of ICBN? See, these all are coming under ICBN or the rules. So most important role of ICBN is principle of priority. What it means? First name, if it is valid, based on rules and regulation, it will have first preference always. So first name given, if it is valid, able to fulfill the rules and regulation, it will have the first preference always. That name will be the first. If any other valid names available, it will be considered as synonym only. So what is the time barrier for it? Time barrier is concerned with Linnaeus. For plants, it is 1753. Name of the book is Species Plantar. For animals, 1758. 10th edition, Systema Naturae, connected with the Linnaeus. Prior to this will not be normally accepted. So Linnaean nomenclature is ultimate or starting. prior to this will not be accepted. That is the idea called principle of priority. Few examples: mango tree, Mangifera indica, brinjal, Solanum melangina, pigeon, Columba livia. So next idea in NCERT is classification that we'll be discussing in the next episode. And after that, 5 theory question, 5 NEET model question with the key. So what all things we learned in the first episode, unit 1, from there we started. That is first chapter in NCERT, diversity in the living world. Then what all things we'll be learning in this unit, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 will be botany, other will be zoology. And under which topics for discussion, introduction, Ernst Mayr, living world. Then diversity in the living world questions. This is the first page. Some statement I marked with red, important for exam point of view, essence of it. Then we entered into the famous scientist Ernst Mayr, contribution of it. Among 100 scientists, if you take, he will be one among it. Then he often refers to be Alexander Agassiz, professor of zoology emirates. Then he worked in a lot of branches in biology. He defined biological species. He received 3 very famous awards, Triple Crown, and he passed away at the age of 100 in 2004. Then we entered into the chapter, living world. So what is really life? Definition we observe. That is maintained by metabolism. Then 2 views connected with what is really life, NCERT, technical one and philosophical one. We'll be dealing with the technical one. And we already discussed lifespan and life, what is the difference. Then features of life, defining feature and characteristic features. Then diversity in the living world, 2 famous scientists. World Biodiversity Day. Term biodiversity popularized by David Wilson. Term biodiversity coined by Walter G. Rosen, W.G. Rosen. After that, we entered into approximate range of species, 1.7 to 1.8 million is a question. They will give 17 million, 18 million, 1.7 to 1.8 billion likewise. So 1.7 to 1.8 million NCERT data. Then some terms concerned with or connected with the living world nomenclature, naming, identification, and after that 4 steps, characterization, identification, classification, nomenclature. Then another important area, agencies concerned with the nomenclature, ICPN, ICZN, ICNB, ICN, CPA, ICVCN, IUBMB. After that, binomial nomenclature, famous scientists, Carl von Linné, 1707 to 1778. Then Swedish naturalist, and some important aspects of idea behind naming of organism, that is taken from Latin language, new names either from Latin or Latinized. Then 2 words, genus, species, and when we print it, it should be italicized and underlined separately when we write it. Then to show what is the purpose of it, show Latin origin, genus name capital, species name small. Mango tree, Mangifera indica, Linn, that is, Linn means Linnaeus, so first describe the species, so he often refers to the author. Genus name, species name, author's name together. Author's name should be in Roman script, called binomial epithet, and most important rule among ICPN is principle of priority, that is, what the Linnaeus given. Time barrier. For plants, 1753 in his book Species Plantarum. For animals, 1758, 10th edition Systema Naturae. And the name given there is the ultimate, and that will be given first preference, that is principle of priority. Then some examples. Then after that, 5 theory question, 5 NEET model question with the key. If you like this episode, subscribe all, like it, share it, comment on it. We can meet later. Take care. Thank you. Bye.